Hey guys, I'm here with Phil Hans. How you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing great. You?
Living life. Kind of tired today, but it's part of the family life. So,
Yeah, I hear ya.
my first question for you was that I wanted to really get out was you came off a really tough win your last outing. What did you learn from that experience? And at the end of it, did you think you did enough in that part to get the judge's decision?
Yeah. My last fight was a blessing. I never been 3 rounds.
Yeah,
Um, Battled through some adversity, and
yeah,
so definitely a, a cap, a feather in my cap. I feel like
yeah,
definitely prove some people wrong and prove myself right that I can go 3 rounds and and battle it out.
yeah,
And for the victory, I felt like I won the fight because I secured the takedowns and
yeah.
uh, and I held the position on top. Um, yeah, and I won the first round for sure. So
Yeah, I scored a 1 and 2 for you.
yeah, so
So
yeah,
it was just a tough fight. This tough dude.
yeah,
So a question for me that I wanted to ask you is: you fought for Bellator, you fought for WSOF, which is now PFL. You're in the UFC. What company have you enjoyed? You work for the UFC the most, and like out of the three, what would you like if you were to recommend going to a company first off? What would you recommend to someone?
Honestly, there was another company I worked for was Brave. It was after the
Brave.
belt. Brave is like international, do a lot of international shows. I don't think they hit the US yet, but man, they run the show like practically the UFC. Very well run show. The pays well. Um, the staff is very accommodating. Everything that you need for a fight, to get it done.
Yeah.
So if I was starting my career out again, I would tell my younger self to go to Brave first, and then maybe Bellator, then UFC from there.
It,
So
it is good that you got to go with all those major organizations though, because you don't get to see that through a lot of steps. It's usually smaller show to big show. You kind of got to work your way up.
yeah,
Um, you also you went through some adversity through the beginning of your career where I felt like you were trying to find your groove. When you found your groove, you went on this tear. Now you're on like a 6 fight winning streak, if I'm correct.
yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Something like where did that you get that like did you know was it something in your training that you had to change or what was it that made you become more successful because now you're one of the top middleweight prospects in the UFC.
Yeah. I think it's a combination of things. One thing I credit to is it's my mentality. I work with my coach on the mental part of the game, big time. That helps me a lot.
Yeah,
Also, experience. Like I took some hits, took some bumps, but
yeah,
it gave me the experience to do what I'm doing now. So in the
yeah,
third round, I still got some juice left, and I can still push forward and things like that. So I'm blessed. You know, like I took the hard way to get to UFC. So
I know they threw you in with like Louise Taylor very early in your career and he's a veteran now so that's a like at the beginning of your career I find that's a hard matchup.
yeah, yeah. But it was a hard matchup. I think I was maybe 4-0 at the time,
Yeah,
and at the time you ask me right now, I'm like, well, I won that fight. I'm like, hell yeah, I won that fight. So it's just a fighter and the competitor and ourselves. That we gotta believe that we can beat anyone, anytime. But yeah, Lewis Taylor was super tough in the beginning of my career. I know he went on to win the PFL, so
yeah.
that was definitely like okay. So I lost to some valid competition. It wasn't just some guy.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Yeah. So
uh how do you see the middleweight division? And a big question was Israel Adesanya lost to Jan Blachowicz. Do you think that takes some steam off the middleweight division, or takes that because he was such a big star and he was supposed to win that fight? Do you think that loss affects the middleweight division and him obviously him as a competitor?
um, honestly, maybe it shows a little chink in his armor, if anything. But the
Yeah.
fact that we're battling at a different weight class kind of like, you know what I mean? Because there's tons of talented 185ers who tried to take him down,
Oh, for
do
sure.
the thing, and they couldn't do it. But I know Izzy is going to be one hell of a fight. Like
Oh,
I know I'm not just gonna be able to just take him down. You know, he's gonna
yeah.
be the best of me, and I can't wait to see myself going against him and seeing how I perform with him. So I'm excited for that.
Are you arguably could be top 15 ranked right now? I personally have you in my top 15. Who do you
Appreciate
see? Yeah, no worries. Yeah, me and my co-hosts are both huge fans of you. The last time you were fighting. He's like Phil Hans. We gotta watch him. So,
it. Yeah.
uh, do you know if you're going to get a top 15 ranked opponent next or?
My opponent's set right now for I'm not sure if I get I forget. In July, I'm fighting in
Okay.
July. So my opponent isn't ranked top 15, but
Okay.
he's a tough opponent, and hopefully after this fight, I can get some ranked guys and move my career along to get my world title.
Yeah. So would if you could see in the long run, what would your goal be to be fighting for the belt?
You mean like by winner?
Yeah. What would you like to be fighting for the belt by 2022? Is that the goal for you?
Man, I don't want to limit myself by saying, 2022. I don't want to
Yeah.
so it's tough. I'm just keep fighting, try to stay frequent, try to stay active. But I want the belt. Like I need the belt. It's my belt. You know, I feel like I'm the best in the world. So only time can tell. I know it's God's plan, really. So I'm just keep working hard and keep winning.
Perfect. And do you think it's going to be Izzy that you end up facing, or do you think someone will derail him at middleweight?
Izzy, you're saying?
Yeah.
It's tough to say. I mean, when you fight someone like Izzy, I was hoping he will pull forward because you want to be that guy to dethrone.
Yeah.
You know, someone like that. So I hope, yeah, I hope he doesn't lose until I get there. You know.
For sure.
But he's so talented, and so skilled. I mean, it's gonna be a hard fight for anyone to win. For anyone to beat Izzy. You know, so.
Yeah. And is the weight cut to 185 big for you, or did you ever want to go to 205? Or I know you have a big muscle frame, so I just want to know how the weight cut is there.
The weight cut's pretty easy. You know, I carry a lot of muscle, so a lot of water, and So what happened? So eventually, I hope to go down and up. You know, bounce around and have some super fights at 70, have some super fights at 205. So I just got to keep winning, focus on competing and doing my best at 185, and these opportunities are going to come. So the weight cut, personally, no, it's not very hard at all. So.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, it's just because there's such a huge gap between 195 to 205. Like they're talking about getting a new division in like the lower class, and I'm like, come on, there should be a 195 division. What is going on? So
Yeah.
And I don't know if you're allowed to answer this, but are you allowed to give any inner note on the Venom deal, or how is that going?
No, honestly, I'm in the dark as well. You know, so
Okay.
I knew the outfits are coming out soon, maybe for the next event or something like that. So
Yeah.
I'm in the dark as well about it. But yeah, it looks like a little bit of a pay increase from the Reebok deals. So that's a blessing. So
Yeah, I guess it's like $2,000 more or something. So it's not too bad. So I really appreciate the time and answered a couple of my questions today. Is there anything you want to give a shout out to before I let you go?
Just shout out. Thank you for having me on the show. Of course, shout out to you. Shout out to my mental coach. Man, just sending people a shout out. If you're on my team, you already know who you are.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me on. You know,
And we got to get the No Hype T-shirt. So I'll definitely be looking at that. So,
my man.
All right, buddy. I really appreciate having you on.
Hey, thank you, brother.